Hi, everyone. Welcome to this event. Can everyone hear me? I assume you can.
Yes, hi.
Hi. Thank you. There are still many people showing up, and I'm going to be letting them in as I welcome you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for donating. Thank you for your patience. There will be connections tonight. There will be connection disruptions. There will be connection distractions. There will be connection euphoria, maybe, hopefully. So bear with us as we try to make this work gracefully. I want to begin by thanking Sarah La Huerta, who organized this whole event. This is her vision, and we owe her our gratitude for this night. Thank you also to Kyle Schlesinger and Cuneiform Press. And I have a
Yay.
yay. And thanks to you for saying yay and for donating, for coming. And thanks most of all to Bernadette Mayer for writing poetry and for creating these vitalizing energy vessels for us all to enjoy and well, more than enjoy, to draw upon as we try to live. If you want to donate tonight, here is how you do it. Many of you have already donated. Thank you. But if you want to donate again, or if you, wrong one, if you have not donated yet and you would like to, can you see how to donate? Will someone confirm that they can? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And the first announcement that I will make is that if you purchase anything at Cuneiform Press tonight, the money that you pay for your books will go directly to the Bernadette Mayer Fund. So if you have been thinking about any Cuneiform Press releases, which he has many from this summer, Kyle has been hard at work. I have the website listed there. It's also in the chat. Search around. If you buy books, that money will go towards our cause this evening. I also want to say, I think I'm recording this. I have this meeting set up to where it's supposed to automatically record. But if you would like to record, I believe I also have it set up to where you can just press record. And you should be able to. And if anybody is trying to record and is struggling to record, well, let me know, send me a message, and I'll see what I can do. Yeah, that seems more right. If you want to learn about Bernadette Mayer and her life in poetry and the great work she has done for all of us, there are lots of places you can read about that. And so tonight, instead of telling you about her in an introduction, I am just going to ask Bernadette a couple of questions. Bernadette, are you ready?
Dear.
Well, the first thing I want to ask you is just, did you see anything terrific or fascinating in your yard today?
Ooh. An orange tree.
An orange tree. I don't. Did the tree have oranges on it, or?
No. It is a tree that turned orange.
Well, that's. I'm glad you said that because I also wanted to ask you about color. I've heard that you. I've heard that you have some ideas, or that you like to talk about the color of letters of the alphabet. And I was just going to ask you to say a little bit about the color of letters.
Oh, okay. A is red, B is pink, C is ochre, D is black. What comes after D? E, green, F, who's that?
It's Neely.
Oh, that's Neely. Hi. F is blue-gray, G is brown, H, blue-gray, I, gray, J, brown, K, black, L, gray, O, beautiful white, M, brown, N. Should I go on?
Yeah, please.
N, O, O, white, P, blue, dark blue, Q is golden, R, orange, S, yellow, T, dark blue gray, U, gray, V, blue. What comes after V? W, brown, X, golden, Y, yellow, Z, brown.
Brown. What comes after brown?
Well, nothing really. Every synesthete has a different color for every letter. So somebody else's letters would be a different color.
I see. Do you have these memorized, or do they come to you differently each time?
I can't hear.
I'm sorry. I said, do you have these memorized, or do they come to you differently each time?
No, they're always the same.
Okay.
They've been the same since I was a child.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just it's just a color. A letter is a certain color, and it just stays that way forever. Even if, like Nabokov said, they're playing with rocks when he was a kid. They're all the wrong colors. And his mother said, "Yes, I know."
Did the colors of the letters ever seem like the wrong colors to you?
Yeah, they do. But I always enjoyed the fact that E was green, because it meant, as I've said very often to my granddaughter, it means free money is green, right?
I'm going to keep my eyes open for the letter E now, because.
What?
Keep my eyes on for the letter E.
Can I ask you one more question?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you what your favorite thought that you've had today was.
Yeah. Gee.
The maple tree.
The
tree from the creek.
But well, I don't know if it's my favorite thought, but we were walking by the Kinderhook Creek, and we could see the trees above, and I pointed to this really orange tree, and I said to Phil, who was with me, "Is that our tree?" Now, this is not a favorite thought. It's just an odd thought to think that a tree belongs to you.
There are too many new faces around here, including yours.
Who said that?
Right. So you found yourself with this odd thought. And now
Who's
I
that?
don't know. Yeah.
who's got their TV on? Oh my God, it's a machine gun. I'm
Has a TV on? Is he doing-
everyone who's not muted. Mute, mute, mute. Okay. Well, before we get to the readings, thank you, Bernadette, for talking with me. Before we get to the readings, I want to do one more. I'm your telethon fool this evening. I'm going to be making announcements about how to donate money to our cause. So here is one way that you can do that. I'm going to share my screen, and I think I have a beautiful image to share with you. Can you all see these? Will somebody confirm they can see what we're what?
Yes.
Yeah.
See,
These-
uh,
These are Bernadette Mayer sonnets. Bernadette, in case you don't know, Bernadette Mayer is a great innovator of many, many literary genres, including utopia visions and journals and sonnets. And Sharon Roos, who is a master calligrapher from Austin, Texas, has written out some of her favorite of Bernadette's sonnets, and you can see them now. And these are kind of the grand prize for donations. But if you feel moved to donate $500 to our honorarium for Bernadette Mayer and Philip's cause to buy a generator tonight, these are available. This one, The Phenomenon of Chaos, has already been claimed, but this sonnet here and this sonnet here, come here, tell me the rest of it. These are still available. And I'll just say a little bit about the artwork around the edges of it was done by a great friend, another friend of Cuneiform Press, Philip Trussell, who is a poet, painter, and a Hermetic scholar who also lives in Austin. So I'm going to stop that screen share. If anybody has any questions about how to donate, please just contact me or Kyle Schlesinger or Sarah LaPuerta in the chat. And, well, I'll be telling you more about this as the evening goes on. Now we're going to do a series of short readings. Oh, more people to admit to the meeting. Here they come. There will be a handful of poets, and we're going to do a sort of set of readings in honor of Bernadette. And I'm going to begin, and we'll go in, I guess, a sort of circle, if you want to call it. And well, then we'll take the evening from there. So I'm going to read two poems from a long poem, or two stanzas, if you want to call them, from a long poem that I recently wrote. And the name of the poem is Hey Craig. And this is stanza number 20. A more honorable version would wear a hat. A more honest version would wear our background. Connect to whatever line you want from here. You can say whatever you want, yet you can't. Transfer to a third of the letters from this line. Only those who rhyme because they come so easily to mind. The way to be is to get the biggest colors onto anything you can. You can learn that from children. Ah, the sniff of buttered bread puts me on my best adjusted breath. lean into any tree who last until you ding. How long may we slack reference? God, Mom, made for us to ding and to say, I love you. Hey, Craig, I love you. I'm coming for you on an M. And this is stanza number 2. Warm, delicate, delicious words, swollen red room to finally fall in. I do too daydream of dying, but somehow surmise that too can no longer surprise the mirror games of cheesy nerve who close the easy door out to look for you among such well-chosen trees. Dear tree, whatever is happening, I am right there with you, and we are going through this together. And whatever's next, I'll be there too, holding your cambrium. I'll surprise you there, and we'll fill out our forms, woven slurping minds. That man passed clean out and head hit a cart. That man coughs up a lung, and that's why the wealthy so love the arts. And our next reader will be Sivan, Lavie, who is coming to us from Jerusalem.
Hi, I'm Sivan Lavie, and I am in Jerusalem. I'm going to be reading a couple of poems. Featherball Badminton, with wings and spirals being tossed to and fro between two people who are unsure. Like a hot potato being flung over the net again and again, and the one who will drop it is surely the first one to crack and burst into tears. Two people who are unsure are two beating hearts so close that they pulsate together in different colors underneath colorful clothing, and neither is willing to be the first to say, hey, 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 I am hurt, or hey, 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 I fucked up. Instead, they will say things like, are you sure? What do you think? Isn't it such a sunny day? And the pain in their chest is growing, expanding, volcano hidden under their Donald Duck t-shirt. And after they part ways, they go home and lay into the bed lap of their deceased grandmother and fall into deep waters of tears. And the grandma puts her large palm on their back, right between their two shoulder blades, and says, it's okay. You deserve this. You called this to you. I love you. And their body filled with colors, gems, and a dance, and a song, and a melody, and a harmonica, like a harmony, whistling through their ears and nose and mouth. And maybe next time they won't have to pass the hot potato. Maybe next time they will just hold onto it and say, I do, I do, I do. And the next poem. My favorite color. I wish I would just be able to sit there doing A and B and C while feeling this cold heart I am feeling. An icy cold heart in my chest. That's my favorite color. An icy chest in the imagination of people who may or may not like me, except they do, of people who may or may not leave me. Sometimes when I talk to you, I get this feeling like I'm holding a cup of coffee and I'm scared of putting it down, hovering it just above the coffee table, waiting to put it down, scared to put it down. I'm just scared I'll say one wrong thing and the coffee will go everywhere, you know? I'm waiting for my hand to steady and holding on, clutching on tight hot coffee cup, and I can just sense that the more I hold it, the more I clasp it, the more I'll spill. I just want to shake and put it down. I want to shake while putting it down. I want to trust my spill, trust in my shaky hand, put things right down on the table and sit with my icy cold heart and this burning hot coffee, and slowly, 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 slowly let it thaw. Thank you. And next up, we've got Zoe Darsee in Berlin.
I know. No, come here. Hi. Okay. Against the paper-like wind, she clutched the train as she lowered herself out of an exit and braced for impact. All around her, red heads, medium height. In kitten heels that were orange. In a brown two-pleat skirt. In a brown skirt with two pleats that opened to show a lighter brown fabric. In a white blouse. In a white shirt with a smooth, sharp neckline. In a white blouse tucked into a two-pleat skirt. In a gold chain. In a thin gold chain from which a pendant of an angel hung. In a golden angel hanging. In a golden angel swinging over a field. In a red field. In a field of red poppies. In a red poppy field bordered by dark gray trees. Surrounded by trees circling the border of a field to her left. At the edge of a field in front of a train. In the dirt at the edge of a red field in kitten heels that were orange. As the train exhaled, the sky darkening, as the points of her shoes cut through the grass that lay horizontally across the earth, as the crowned green heads cut up through the drier grass, as they came illustratively up, as she stood there, surrounded by open and closed heads, as they waved and waved in the wind, as the choir of the field prepared to sing, as she could not breathe, as the train had exhausted itself here, as she had stood and waited, as nothing before or behind her changed, as nothing refused to change, as the chorus breathed as she couldn't, as if in an opera of politicians breathing, as the breath of the wind, extra, caught between poppies, as poppies caught the wind, as the train had exhausted itself, as she stood and looked. Thank you. Kevin is next.
Thanks, Zoe. Professional liquid. Can you hear me? Professional liquid. I woke up today with the words professional liquid, which I'd read on a bottle of discount brand superglue. The words came to me as an apparition, Helvetica bold red, and I heard it, spoken in a voice vaguely my own. Then other words came. I was writing. I observed a little poem being written by me. Then when I'd got out of bed, walked the dog, had some tea, checked email, fed the cat, fed the dog, and made myself some oatmeal with raspberries and yogurt. It was all gone, except professional liquid. Pasta types. Linguine, fettuccine, capellini, orecchiette, pinguini, kundalini, sanguini, Lamborghini, tamburini, lasagna. Logarithms. But there are no fractions. Life is an integer. That's what John Ashbery said. I remember an early 21st century podcast, however, about numbers, just that big a topic, in which a scientist of cognitive behavior from Switzerland, he said the word logarithm like the shape of them, up in the middle and down on either side, an aria. Spoke matter-of-factly, as scientists do, about humans being born without a grasp of integer-based thinking. Rather, he said, babies innately relate to numbers logarithmically, a tendency which they are systematically dispossessed of. One needs to be able to count to make it in this world. There are 10 ducks, $400, 7 days in a week. Thanks. I don't know who's next. I think Mauricio, maybe? Bradley, you're on mute.
The next reader is Zan de Parry. Is Zan here?
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey.
hey.
In the fairy tale, The Orange Cat, we raise Jesus, but not like prices. They make Jesus IDs, cars, phones, a home the size of the United Nations, and they warm him a beautiful song. They tattoo to his breast, do not eat your neighbor to save yourself. And in his name, construct an equal opportunity bunkhouse filled with warm hay and fox down, a quarter home out back for the didacs to smoke frankincense. Jesus is not our king. As an unseen king is an unfit king. Though as they make construction of divination, an orange cat always seems to pass. A cat whose paws we nail to spare timber, so that an image of a king might pool under it. Is Chemung, New Jersey, Tinseltown? Is Jessup, Pennsylvania, Tinseltown? Is Decula, Georgia, Tinseltown? Is Trinidad, Colorado, Tinseltown? Is Dish, Texas, Tinseltown? I'm looking for the train to Tinseltown. It is night. The smell of grass, mouth full of rain. You straddle like a child on a parapet horse, head on my belly, gird our tip tumbrel. Our next poet is Adrienne, Herr from Berlin. Much love. Thank you.
Hi. Never done a reading on Zoom before, but it's pretty cool to be virtually with you, and I'm going to read 3 poems. When we do art, we basically show to the others what they want to see. They become pacified and disarm themselves. Salt of the earth. Can we protect the others or not? Do we want to be delivered? Or do we want the others to be delivered to us? There is this new kind of relating since the wood lice ate all of the metal fences. Thy neighbor. There's nothing to be afraid of, and that's exactly what's afraid of. You should ask a blind man what colors look like. Approach all experience this way. You should tell to a blind man how colors look. Then you'll make a contraction in language. Then you'll see the world before you spoke. Something's teeming and it's covered up the neighbor's house. Shooting stars crash into the basement. Wood lice take on new habits and everything consumed. This one's called Cancer the Dog. Hands and slowness frogs cancer. Hands and slowness tie Cancer to a potted tree. But Cancer unpots the tree with his ties, uses his ties to unpot tree, so a bigger place can hand them. Some of the women attach streamers with the colors of the island. The island will brush against the mainland in an attempt to speed erosion. The island really moves. Hands and slowness often tug thoughts so hard they end up lost in the room. The room to whom anyone could say, "Hey, let me rub some of myself on you. I do not need to keep all of myself. This is realizable." Some of the women attach sewers to the clouds, for instance. Some become actions, some potted trees, so their roots can know the safety of limits. So that's how we know touch. The island's approaches are signals. As I was a little child, a completely other people. This is how he came to identify as my father. Like, this is the person I decide to physically spend time with, and there are rules, and they also have to apply to mine, and they have to travel to my brain and apply to my acting, like I'm acting in someone else's body space. The island attacks. The people aren't starving for contact. The island approaches. There was an arrest. Stranded in action for 28 years, the subject has the right to remain silent. One night, she's moored by the wind. It is perfect and heavy in every single direction. The island people have stolen this fulfilled culture. Yeah. And the next reader is Ivanna.
Thanks, Adrienne. I'm going to read 3 poems. Only in this room. I long for your objects, a garden house flooding hundreds, marigolds, our Italian children in the back seat. Nice, while all life's living objects stay alive, still and us, the livingest of all. If I pray you a voice note, it's a strike for amends. Acceleration is only the half of it. Spontaneous brain spotting after the empathogen cleanse. So much time with no fresh rain. In the outage, I could never pull you, a rake in water. Cold keeps cold cold. You get the point. Like God is everything or God is nothing. A myth frack, safety spool, traffic splitting quiet, then birds. If I say too much, a word like oxygen, you would hear my screams from Los Feliz. When it's time yet to disappoint, I wouldn't dream. Any song you sing is familiar. Hey, empath. Shut up. It's a perfect song. The Home Depot parking lot at sunset. My heart may lose, but I'll never go home. I get the melting candle feeling, can't go back, not willing to be delivered from frivolous use. Throat chakra violence, or worse. Shut up. Stand still, or the moment will eclipse you. A schedule would make me time's own guillotine. When I'm outside your house, I feel prayer on my hands. The start of a lonely secret. What even is a promise ring? I once dated a bag of chips. Full circle to worship nothing. The power of a limited edition. This is my last poem. Intercom. Goodbye, anti-natural agenda. Pragmatic fantasy volleys my intercom in every private departure of my minuscule day. I'm not beholden to such elation. Every gesture, every mental calibration, more trust, more blissness. Something about waiting really gets me off. A fatalistic belief is contagious. Thank you.
Thank all of you. That was really, really nice. I don't even know what the right word was. That was really cool. Thank you, poets, for doing that for tonight. In case you just tuned in and you want to know how to contribute to this night, I will show you.
Nope.
Can y'all hear me? I'm just posting this again. There's a lot of people showing up as we go. So here's how you donate. Well, y'all can see, right?
Yes.
Right. There it is. Screenshot it, copy and paste. I don't know what you can do with it, but we are trying to buy it. We are. I mean, we have exceeded our goal. So thank all of you, but you can still give more if you would like to. And I'll say once again that anything that you purchase on the website listed at the bottom of the page there, cuneiformpress.com, will go to the Bernadette Mayer Fund this evening. So I'm going to stop the share. And I'm going to say, without any further ado, if you want to call it, I'll turn it over to Bernadette Mayer and Philip Good, who will take us to the end of the evening.
Thank you, Bradley. Thank you, people. Thank you, generosity. The generosity of everyone. This is great. I'm going to begin with Poets in a Box. Okay.
Yeah.
From the introduction. Everyone loved to locate utopia, believed to be somewhere just north of Devil's Workshop.
Yeah.
Some of those who contributed to the confusion were Ron Padgett, not to be confused with Kenneth Cope, Allen Ginsberg, Fannie Howe, and Barbara Guest. And somewhere, everyone has a farmer in their family tree. They knew they entered the South when more mules than horses worked the land. They had to have a pleasing imagination. They had to have a sense of nonsense before and after any occasion worthy of a limited edition. They had to give the movement a name. They had to create a title. John Ashbery. Heavy sheets of paper resided in a box. A cover announces a curious collection. Numerous poets work for another's need, which surely outweighs their means. However, their words prove worthy of a possible successful recovery, as the colored particles in the sky confirm, like a mythical bird sound climbing high, breaking out of a doctor's induced coma, not sleep, but reconnected circuits interrupted. More time is decided, needed, perhaps a plea, heeded, heard, understood, people's appreciation received, recorded. Now, many years after the fact, a new stanza is written, fashioned, lines are counted, chorded, and mixed, each with a different color and tone, like John Ashbery's Glorious Spring, dream of not going into Hawaii, or asking questions forgotten till tomorrow when the next wave lands on the shore yet to be investigated, as paper promise a day pass to visit other realities diminished later, as we wonder which way is out or enter whatever is constructed to be seen. Should we panic? Is it over yet? Is the file uploading? Is memory complete? Is Bernadette's influence immutable? Is it the whole package? Is the pregnant hillbilly contagious? Is strawberry cake and ice cream too spicy? Is the moon waning or waxing? Is the water too cold today? Can I stick my tongue in your ear? Did the raspberry turn into wild cherry? Is the heat wave endless? Did William Carlos Williams say it first? Is it Farmer's Daughter's Day? Is the purple flower blue? Is the orange red color yellow orange? Do deer eat dahlias? Is chocolate better dark? Is a horse unnameable? Is asking for fun fun? Is it over yet? Is the file downloading? Is poetry getting the job done? Should we panic? Stop the masquerade. It starts with the face masks, and we're talking beyond beauty products, costume parties, or bank robberies, not just lying faces or clowns, or any bunch of useless face masks unleashed upon the masses. Just breathe in and breathe out. Good advice for the panicked Wall Street crowd that doesn't know which way the wind blows. Always never siding with science, speaking against regulation. It's a zoonic transfer, keep your distance, read more books, and don't forget the rice and beans.
But
Okay, I'm going to read 2 collaborations with Ms. Mayer before she reads solo.
oh,
Here's a copy. This is Hey Fielders of the New Normal. In private, you can be maskless, but as the old song goes, you can leave your hat on.
I'm being maskless, so we can kiss, and I'll take my chastity belt off, okay?
Unmask yourself if you dare. We are home alone and have nothing to fear.
Now a box of necessities, like cheese puffs, have arrived, and Jay is tedding the hay.
Make hay while the sun shines, even in a pandemic, which is like a battle with sea monsters.
I dreamt there was a sea monster at my door. When I answered it, it was the pandemic personified.
What, no deliveries today? Please, because we have to tend to our peas and see what's behind the mask.
Please, please, though, don't drink chocolate bars. We have to watch out for the movie stars and see what's behind their diseases.
As they snort and sniff and sneeze, and smiling in bleach baths while defrosting the frozen chickens.
The chickens in my freezer are dancing, singing, and doing graffiti in the empty subways of asparagus.
And Dr. Rock and Roll goes surfing among the sea monsters of the north, while local business owners start fires.
Under the economy, to get it going, over to the houses of the rising sons, or sons of the fields, heirs.
Lost in East Nassau.
I never intended that a lake could be so much like a teapot that's late for lunch, like a plate. I like the black strong one. Who would want a weak plate, like a half-built greenhouse in the middle of a cheese bridge over the flowering fields, over the flowering hellebore fields? They look like avocados, even popovers flying, or are they poppies, or do they fly too like lakes? 'Twould be easier to throw latkes in the air than a pinstriped demon. What do you think?
Or to answer when no motorized vehicles warning is posted in the sunroom, where the view faces the field on the edge of a creek that flies to a river. We could float downstream and see how many cardinal flowers are blooming along the way to pass under a bridge.
It's easy to say, but the no motorized vehicle sign is in the other room. The messy my room, or maybe it's lost and the creek goes the wrong way. No matter what you say, the wild blue turkeys don't hold the key. Say, but we thought the world was a mess before, but now at least it's on hold. And if this virus is Trump's doing, his desiring emergency powers, emergencies, the big word, the tree's own shade facilitates the moss. Is the sap yellow?
The shade-grown coffee berries are red, then green, then brown. Once we had color-coded the days. Now we have a war against the virus. Now we have a war against the virus, but you can't shoot a virus or stop it at the border. And the beat goes on. As maple trees drip before blossoms bloom, then many flowers of many colors appear, but not too many people can gather at once to stare.
Then many flowers of many colors appear, but not too many people gather at once to stare. There's not one person, in fact, who can use the word blossom. But do we remember what it looks like? Do you remember going to a restaurant? Do you think the place called Soho can still be open? And when all this is over, will there be oysters? I don't mean Soho, the neighborhood in New York City, but Soho in the East Greenbush Diner. And will there be $1,000 check for us at least? And will there still be dust motes?
Show me the money and show me the restaurant named after a fashion neighborhood. Oysters will grow for us in cold ocean water. Yes, salty water brings tasty life again in all fashionable and unfashionable places. And once again, dolphins say hello.
I have a forsythia blossom from Pennsylvania in a plastic bag. I want to eat oysters while hearing the grandmothers of dolphins, the beluga whales, sing like sirens on top of extinct volcanoes. Don't give drugs to dolphins, okay?
In East NASA, we've had bald eagles, hippie ducks, squirrels, chipmunks, trout, crawfish, and other assortment of northeast creatures next to 2 creeks and few blooms. Meanwhile, the sap buckets hang idle between the changing seasons of the newest decade that everyone is tired of, or as some might say, beside itself, or beside herself or himself or their self, some self or other self, self that's sick with the virus. Hand me the virus and I will survive it. I burned it under the soft moss, taking over the lawn, trees, and outbuilding roof. The virus makes the house shake, but only once.
Weird, strange isolation, end of winter days. As the atlas of the world fell down, there goes the world as we isolate. A spring is supposed to be here, yet the snow fell on the ground again, and all the robins wait by the curb.
I don't think the robins. Do you think there were robins in the atlas? Is there ever a robin in the stove? Are they waiting for the bus? Did you see the fat snowflakes fall? Do you think we should start over like spring?
A lot of questions and only 2 experts to answer them. And yes, there were robins that were not in the atlas, and there are no birds in the stove today, and the school bus has been canceled. And if there's no one to see the snowflakes, they are as fat as spring will be.
Amen. And now, Bernadette Mayer.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for everything. I'm going to read a thank you poem. It's called Poem for the Benefit of Me. Thank you, all of you, for helping in raising money in the USA, where I grew up, became one of the poets, but can't earn a living. Floods are never of dollar money. We'd take just the ones from tops of waves to pay bills for what the earth's arranged we'd have for free, if only enough poets could explain how to do it. I'm trying and thanking you all for helping me pass through the eye of capitalism's needle. Now, don't take these poems too seriously when you're going to vote. I mean, take them totally seriously. The dressing gong. From now on, there will be no fun. Nobody can even snicker, much less laugh out loud. Secret underground tapes of laughter will circulate. And if you get caught with a laughter tape, you will pay more than if you had sex. Laughing during sex results in Siberian trees falling on your house. And plus, you must live with Trump forever in a casino to create a nuclear summer, fall, winter, springs, no laughing matter. You'll have nothing to eat. Nothing will grow that's edible. Crop sprayers like demons will render all your vegetables poison, and you will become a Republican, determined to destroy the joy of all, and you will become a Republican of the sort that creates explosions, showering gold on corporation like a kilo nova, while the other classes can't even eat fruit. You think instead of peas, you can eat pears, but even the tomatoes will be wasted like helicopters looking in vain for marijuana. And don't go to Madagascar, they're having the plague. Dig your caves now and laugh in them pronto. Car whack symptom of sardines, whether our friends and acquaintances at funerals in tenements, it's scintillating to fight and die for our car culture with its breathtaking gas stations and brutalist architecture of Howard McDonald's, and sex isn't illegal as long as you abuse the female. But let's get to the meat of it. This guy has got to go. Chance and Pence and thence, they're both so dense and frumpy. Hence, I think, how long will I have to spend on death row? Or will I die before they kill me in a mall, school, or church shooting? Or maybe I'll go even crazier and they'll let me get a gun, and so I can shoot you and then me, and together we'll go to the abyss of doom, a fancy hotel in either heaven or hell at $5,000 a night, featuring fake squid rolled in rare artificial flavors, handcrafted raspberries dribbled over fresh ticks, with music by a transgender Trump lookalike and a group of black breakdancers performing their greatest hits. Fuck white supremacy, and whose side are you on? Until the dressing gong rings. This is called Mr. Heater's Little Buddy. They said it was just like the sun. Into the honey came the yellow jacket. Susan Coolidge made an onion pie. And so should all, without feasting on the cloudy, windy little daylet that opened the clouds to pour down ocelots all over our crayoning with its red sorrel background. I crossed the field. My feet were wet. The leaves were still on the trees, I said, hovering like a windmill. You, my windowsill, look like a fly. This is not serious business. You lying flat like a whole populace in an ambulance. Didn't we notify the eater sunflower seeds that we wouldn't be on the shelf? By the time you would have digested us, a hole under which was the white long underwear showing like a patch of blue sky right by the frame of the window's silly portrait of the sky as it was once when it was still spring, remember? You were over at Neely's and me at Jocelyn's to march to protest the denseness of the fires that chased the birds away same day they decided to live in logs like jackets. Some poems just wander away like children. This is called Current Events. Pandemic, oh, I'm sorry, that's the list. Current events. It's a cool, cloudy day in August, at the end of August. I wonder if any cop is shooting a Black person right now. Is there an app for that? For revenge, if you're into that, maybe Black people should shoot cops, all cops. That's biblical, like an eye for an eye, etc. But the cops haven't shot all Black people yet. How many do you think are left? I don't have the coronavirus yet. You know that pink ball with ornate weeds sticking out? Maybe it's a sort of gazing ball in which I see wildfires all over California, ruining everybody's life if they still have one, you know. Parts of some people's lives have snapped off and stay in the canopy, threatening you if you dare to visit, like you could get arrested for having this virus, as in Venezuela. But don't worry, it fell down and is languorously leaning against the tree or person it was once part of. But don't get me wrong, it's a mess here. This is part of a collaboration with Leanne Brown. Without any form, no letter, the parts of speech heal like moss, like a love letter. We asked for bread, and right away Alice brought babka. We needed money. It appeared twice. I was looking for the trillium too soon, but there it was in your poem. I didn't know people called cocks robins in England. It wasn't the dark we feared. Grace was afraid of the sheer cliff by the side of the road. It wasn't a can of soup we ate, but a soup made of onion and sweet potato. And as for trillium, can a flower get the coronavirus and die? This is just to say, Alice is home. The coffee cup had coffee and water in it. The portulaca plant has sent a flower on into the ground. It is firmly rooted. The lobelia looks happy. I wish there'd been plums in the refrigerator. There wasn't any mail in the refrigerator. I mean, in the mailbox. We should get the tree fixed or move our socializing spot over to the lilac bush. There's no poem on this page. Mr. and Mrs. Dandelion. There was a cessation of mowing to allow the dandelions to grow. Then anger stirred the pandemic like moss. But no, mosses get no angrier than water bears. This Archegonium vocabulary is full of love. The anger stirred the pandemic like a president. There was a giant tardigrade on Star Trek. To deadhead is to Trumphead, I say, not always asking why we need more flowers. And as in the sudden sinkhole opening in Waterford, The additional crumbling is also a presidential thing. Moss is a gentle thing. It also eats pollutants. Who cares about pollutants when there's a pandemic? Everyone, I hear, has changed back to their robes of blossoms. Oh, you, my sleeves of moss, could you not at least get us a new empathetic chief executive, a moratorium on rent and homes for everyone, the release of nonviolent prisoners and violence for all, the burying of guns, and some prickly pear cactus all around? Oh, it's prickly pear cactus candy all around. This is called I Am Taken About Your Actual Fish. For me, to eat has been ruined by the Catholic Church. For that host to be a body and then to swallow it, it's enough to ruin swallowing and hunger forever, Mr. Jesus Christ, especially when your servants put their cocks in my mouth. I always thought it was good to get dirty, and later dirty as in sex too, but then eventuated the coronavirus hand washing. I was so old, so I washed my hands, but what about my fingernails? There's a whole science fiction movie hidden under there with Angie Dickinson and Emily Dickinson. Why is it that color? Maybe it's the virus we randomly chose for last year's flu, or a dot of the earthquake we'll get for Christmas, along with a crescent moon or half moon like the bottom of my nail. I'm going to end here with this poem called The Lobelias of Fear. There are maple trees, 1, 2, 3, but wait, there's 5 more. The 2 behind the bungalow and lots in the Poetry State Forest. I hear target practice from far away. It's probably for shooting deer, bears, and dinosaurs. How will we, still alive, socialize in the winter? Wrapped in bear skins, we'll sit around pot-bellied stoves, eating the lobelias of fear left over from desperation. Last summer's woodland sunflowers and bee balm remind us of black cherry eaten in a hurry while the yard grows in the moonlight, shrinking like a salary or a damaged item when we return in the morning for a breakfast of harvest petunias sprinkled with wild marshmallow. And I'd like to thank everyone, including myself. No, I'm serious. I'd like to thank everyone for helping us get a generator for your generosity. Ness.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nope. What happened? She was muted though.
Oh.
Thank you so much for saying my name right. So few people do, and I'm such a fan of your work, Bernadette. My friend Dan Graham introduced me to your work many years ago. Thank you so much, and thank you for getting my name right. Sorry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Bernadette. That was incredible.
Thank you. We can't see you. We can hear you.
Who's that? Oh,
I don't know.
hello. Jason Morris.
Thank you, Bernadette.
Hey.
Hi.
That's your
Hey.
Thank you, Bernadette, Philip, generosity.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey.
Stop yelling in my eyes.
We're setting up the tent tonight.
Thank you, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
My computer shut down as Bernadette got about halfway through that poem, so I ran outside to my friends who are here. See the barn? We're in Austin, Texas. It's sunset. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to say at the end of the reading. Thanks to Sarah La Puerta.
Yes.
It would not be happening if Sarah hadn't met Bernadette and had this vision. Go check out Cuneiform Press and buy a book. Wow, thank you so much to all the readers. It was so, to hear the issues of the times with all of you, I don't know, it felt like a very warm thing. It felt like something was lifted from me or something. So thanks to Sharon, Ruse, and Philip Trussell for creating these objects that will enter the archive of tonight. And I think this type of thing, generosity, is going to be like an ongoing energy that we continue at some future moment. So stay tuned in. Bernadette, I would like to tell you good night, and thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bernadette, for doing
You're very welcome.
did.
And thank you so much too.
Yep.
Cheers.
Okay.
Hey.
I look forward to whatever futures I have with any people who can hear me right now. Okay.
Thank you, Bradley. Thank you,
the
Bernadette.
future.
And you can all come over and use my generator anytime.
Thank you.
I'll do that.
We may need it.
Okay. Okay. I've really enjoyed being your fool for this evening, everyone. And I'll say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I don't know.
Good night. Thank you so much.
You did incredible. Thank you. Yeah. They can still hear us.
Bradley, you're still there. You're still there, Bradley.
Sarah La Puerta is the host now. Thank goodness.
I'm
Oh,
not.
that's good.
So wait, I have to end the meeting? I'm gonna stay here.
Is anybody hanging out? Bernadette?
Oh my God, it's all.
Nearly.
There's still a lot of people in it. It's like we're all hanging out after the reading now. I don't know.
That.
Hi, Sarah.
Annabelle Lee.
Where are
This is
you?
the fun part.
Annabelle, hi.
Hi, Bradley.
Hi, it's nice to see you.
Great to see you.
It's a great background you got there.
Wait, so if I end the meeting, all you people just disappear. That's
Don't
hard to do.
Yeah, breaking
Well,
up is hard to do.
I'm gonna say hello and good night to Sarah. It's so good to see your face for the first time in many moons. So thanks so much for inviting me, and your poetry is so beautiful and filled my heart. Thank you so much, Bernadette, for sharing your words with us. That was like you made my evening just fantastic and lovely. So be healthy and safe anywhere you guys are, eh? Bye.
Thank you.
Toodaloo. Bye.
Bye, Sarah.
Toodaloo.
Where's Marie?
So, maybe she-
Yeah, where's Marie?
where's the-
Hi, Annabelle.
Hey.
Hi. Nice to see you, Anne.
It's
Grandma.
Is that Ann Waldman there?
Yeah. Hi, how are you? Good
I
to
want
see
to tell you, I played Memorial Day, 1971, for a senior in high school.
Oh, really?
I was teaching. I mean, I'm a teacher at a very tiny school, and I have a senior class of one. One young, really brilliant, excitable person. And I show her your work, and I show her yours too, Bernadette, along with Hannah Wiener and along with Lee Lozano. And she gets really high on that stuff.
Nice.
And I played her Memorial Day 1971, and when you sang, I don't want to hear about that anymore, she started doing this groovy thing, and like she was really feeling it. So I guess I just want to tell you that the kids still really dig it. So keep going wherever you're going. Keep us more.
Nice.
So how's it going in the country where you are? What are you doing? You getting your generator?
Kansas cream.
Oh, us. Yeah. We'll be able to get a generator.
Great.
Warm, yeah.
Is it getting cold yet?
No, it's going the other way.
At the moment,
I'm
yeah.
afraid it's the beginning of fall, but it's like 80 degrees.
Right. Yeah, it's hot here again. We had a big snowstorm.
Yeah. And it's very humid too.
Uh-huh.
It's fucked up.
Did you make an onion pie?
Not yet.
No,
but we
but
just
I'm going to.
I have a feeling you're gonna. Yeah, I liked hearing about it in the poem.
Yeah. I was so impressed that Susan made it. And we got the greatest onions today.
Oh, good.
Really the wonderful onions, including, what are they called? Those
shallots from
shallots.
the Wood Farm brought them.
We can't figure out what's going on there. It's a cult.
Don't say
that. I shouldn't say that over the air. Right?
No.
We get our onions from a cult.
Oh.
That's a good line.
What kind of cold?
I don't know, really.
No.
I'm just finding out.
No.
They worship onions.
All right. Okay. Well, we should go, I guess.
Well, thank you so much.
All right.
Been fun. See you later, alligator.
I'm gonna end this, and you guys are all gonna disappear. So it was. Good
Thank
to
you,
see everybody.
Sarah.
I'm gonna write
good.
a poem about Zoom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna like it. But you write it anyway.
Well, let's do that for the next round, maybe.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
Hey, I'll see y'all soon.
Every
Okay,
time
see
there's
you
a
soon.
Zoom, you could say this poem.
Oh, yeah.
5, 4, 3,
Bye.
2, 1.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.